Good morning folks, and welcome to the first of the Apple Tasters for 2024 to 2025. I've got Nigel with me. We're filming from the marina, which is our new venue. It makes it easier for us. And we've got some new varieties to taste today, so it's quite excited.
Yeah, it's some time since we met. It must be, what is it, about 6 months, isn't it, since the last one? Yeah. It's been quite an unusual season. We had an awful lot of water in the first part of the year, and this affected the apple development. It meant that they swelled up relatively quickly, or many of the early ones did, and most of them seem to have developed quite good flavours. So it will be interesting to see what they're like. We're at 4th of September, so we've got here some of the earlies, but not the really early ones. They unfortunately flashed past before we had a chance to get together. First one we've got is Discovery, which is a well-known apple, and you can see it's a lovely looking thing. It originated in Essex and it was released commercially in the 60s. And you can see sometimes it's quite pink inside. There you go, Julie.
Thank you, Nigel.
Now we give a mark out of 5, you may remember, for flavour for each of these. 3 is sort of average. It's okay. It's an apple that you'd eat without comment. 4 is really good. 5 is unbeatable. 2 or 1 means the apple is in some way negative or unpleasant. That's quite firm and crisp.
Yeah.
What would you give that, Julie?
I'm going to give that tastes quite good. It's just a bit, when you get chewing on it, the final part is a bit hard with the skin and that. So
yeah, okay.
I'm going to give that a 4.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's not the best taste and texture I've ever had, but it's very nice. It's very pleasant.
Yeah, it is.
We have to be careful issuing 5. It's the only occasional apple that gets that.
Yeah.
So that's 4 and 4. Then we add together to give a total score. So we've got 8.
Yeah, so
8
it's out
there.
of 10. Yeah.
Now the next one's interesting because it's related to Discovery. It's actually got the same genetic fingerprint, but it's not identical. There's a little bit of a mutation has taken place, and this is called rosette. So you can see it's the same shape as Discovery, but it's got a much deeper pigmentation. And the colour inside is much darker. And the flavour's different as well. Yeah, we did a tasting yesterday in Burbage, and this was voted to be very good. Skin's still a little bit tough, isn't it? A bit like the last one, but I would rate the flavour slightly better.
Would you? And well, for me, the first one I would rate better. Yeah.
They are different.
Yeah.
This has got a hint of berries with it, possibly red currant or possibly blackberry. The other one sort of tastes a little bit fresher somehow, but less fruity. Difficult to describe these things.
Yeah.
So what are you going to give rosette?
Well, it's got to be a 4.
Okay. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong column. There we go. 4. No, I'm going to give it a 4.5. Yeah, that was very, very nice. Yeah. Next one is Laxton's Fortune.
That's a well-known one, isn't it?
Yeah, also known as Fortune. This was introduced a long time ago by Laxton Brothers. They were based in Bedfordshire, and it was released about 1904, so pre-First World War. There you go, Julie.
Okay, that's what it looks like, folks.
Yeah, typical white-fleshed apple.
Yeah. Very soft.
Yeah, that's plenty ripe enough, that is. Superb flavour, though. Very nice flavour. Let's try the other one. That one's not quite as ripe. It's not the best we've ever had it, is it? I don't think, that one. It usually has a nice hint of aniseed with it. There is a slight hint of that, but not as strong as some years.
I think for me it's going to be a 3.5.
Yeah, because of the softness, slightly.
No, not so much that. I just don't. I think it's lacking.
Okay.
You know.
I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah.
It's not
I
being
think the
held.
flavour is better on the first two.
Yeah, yeah. One of the problems with this, it's supposed to be ready in early October, and it's only September the 4th, and it's ripened too quickly.
Right.
I think because of all the early rain that we had. So the flavour hasn't developed quite fully enough.
We had a lot of rain, didn't we? Earlier?
Oh yeah, and floods and all sorts.
Yeah.
Next one is an apple that we got from a guy in Stockholm. And his surname is Doubleman, so we call it the Doubleman apple. He sent it to me because he was intrigued by the red flesh that it had. It's a seedling from his garden. I don't know whether it was commercial or not. I don't think he knows either. I think it was in his garden when he moved in. It's very different to the others. It's got a...
Not for me.
Oh, you don't like it?
No.
Well, I quite like that. It's got some sort of lower down flavours, if I can put it like that. Sort of caramelly, but not really like an apple. I'm going to give that a 4. Slightly soft.
3 for me.
Okay. It's got a little bit of bitterness as well, particularly in the skin. Okay, next one is from California. This is Matri Pink. And this is usually a sort of lemony flavour that it has. It's got a nice colour inside, as you can see. Okay. Yeah, I've grown this for quite a few years, and it's one of our favourites. As much for the appearance as the taste. Well, it's quite crunchy. still got a hint of lemon about it. Quite pleasant, not too acidic.
I'd say it's very crunchy.
Yeah, quite nice balance.
No, for me it's another 3.
Okay. I'm going to give it 3.5. It's quite pleasant, but it's more novelty value than if you had a blindfold on, you wouldn't think it was exceptional. It's just the colour is the main interest in it. I think the next one is one we haven't seen before. This is, I think it translates as Snow White. It's from Germany and it's called Schneien. And you can see again it's got a nice red colour inside. Oh, there's my knife. Right. This was either loved or hated last night by the people that rated it. It's a very strong flavour and quite sour, but also it's lots of sugar.
Don't like it.
No, that's
a 2 for me.
Now this is interesting because last night some of the people would have rated it at a 5 and others just didn't want to eat it.
Yeah.
And there's very little in between.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give it a 3. I'm not over keen on it. I couldn't eat a whole one, for example. What was your
2?
2. But it's a spectacular colour. But there's an awful lot of acidity there.
Yeah.
The next one looks very like Laxton's Fortune. It's actually an apple called Prince Charles. It originated in Burbage at the Herbert Robinson Nursery in the 1940s. And its name comes because it was issued to celebrate the birth of Prince Charles. Though it must have been developed prior to that for it to be released in 1948. That's very sweet and pleasant, isn't it?
Mm.
I think that's about the best we've had so far. That is really good.
Even the skin breaks down for it.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to give that a 4.5.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
There's hardly any tannins in there, and hardly any bitterness at all. It's very nicely balanced between the acidity and the sugar. The next one is Redlo Ciri. This is from Switzerland, and it's one of the apples issued by Lubera Nurseries by Marcus Cobelt, who bred it. Okay, and you can see it's a nice colour. Put that there. What do you think of that one? It's a bit like the Schneien, isn't it?
2.5 for me.
I'm not sure it's quite ripe. I'm going to give it 3.5. A little bit sour, but it's quite sweet.
No, not sure.
But I think it's been affected. It's quite an early apple, and I think it's been affected by the excessive rain again. It hasn't really developed the full flavour that we expect from it.
Look at this one, folks.
That's an ugly brute, isn't it? Now that is a seedless apple. This is an apple from Ukraine, and it's called Eccentric, and it doesn't require any bees to pollinate it. This forms without pollination. It has no seeds inside. If you slice it in half, there are no seeds at all. If you wanted to breed from this apple, you could force it to form seeds by hand pollinating it. You can brush pollen onto the flowers, and it will then actually form seeds. But quite an interesting shape. Seedless apples often have this elongated shape because seed formation does actually affect the shape of the fruit. Let's take some from this end. Feels quite soft, white fleshed, as you can see. Nice white flesh there. There you go.
Okay.
I don't know what the parentage of this is, but it must have been bred. It's a sort of genetic freak. It's nice flavour. Yeah, excellent flavour. And it's soft.
Yeah,
which
and
is,
the skin is pretty well non-existent.
Wow.
You don't, I've got it, I think we need to have another piece of that.
That is really good. The skin, as you say, virtually disappears immediately.
Yeah.
It's quite soft, so there's no way this could be sold commercially. But for people with false teeth, it is superb.
Got a quite unique taste.
Yeah,
Nice.
There's a little bit of bitterness in the skin, but that gives it a sort of balance to the taste. I think I'm going to give that a 5, Julie.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's really something.
Can't find fault with that at all.
No, excellent thing.
Yeah. Wow.
What a surprise. Now, this is another seedless. This came also from Ukraine. This one is known as Matri Osca. You can see it's got the same elongated shape, but it's not quite as exaggerated as the previous one. Let's see if this is similar. There is a sort of advantage to having seedless fruit, what with all the difficulties with bee populations. If you have a field of these which can self-pollinate, there's an obvious advantage to that. There's similarities, aren't there, between the two? A little bit similar. It's a little bit firmer. The flavour isn't quite so good.
No. That's quite, you could eat it for your back lunch, but
Yeah.
it's nothing to look forward to.
No.
For me, that's a straightforward 3.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just have another bit to confirm, because I think I agree with you on that. And it's a novelty, but it doesn't have the softness of the last one. No, the flavour's unexceptional. I'll give that 3 as well. And the skin's a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is an apple which I found at the place I used to work, Wigston and Queen Elizabeth College in Leicester, in the hedge. And this is a rather good apple which we call the Wigston Pippin. You can see it's quite colourful. It has an amazing crop every year. It never misses a year, and it's always loaded. But usually the apples are rather sad and sour. But this year they've coloured up much more than normal. And I think the odd weather that we've had has helped it. So let's see what we think. But most years this is not particularly good. Well, quite good texture. Flavour's not bad either. There's still a bit of sourness. What do you think, Julie?
I think a 3.
Yeah, I think for me it's about a 3.5. It's a bit more.
No.
But the one good thing about this apple is its regular cropping. It never fails. It's always got a crop. So that gives us a total of 6.5. Our last one is a little apple from a tree that originated from an old tree on a parish boundary in Essex, a village called Roundbush. It has crimson blossom. It's another red-fleshed apple. You can see its nice colour there. The flavour is a bit variable. Some years it's good, some years it's not so good. This is true of most earlies. They're particularly susceptible, the flavour's particularly susceptible to the weather. Nice colour, but it's a little bit bitter. A bit more?
Yeah, I'll try a bit more just to make sure.
Yeah. It's sort of okay for me, but there's a hint of sort of strawberry there, but it's not that pleasant. The sort of strawberry mixed with apple.
Well, it's eatable.
Yeah. 2.5 even, do you think?
Yeah,
I think it's slightly negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it 2.5.
So we've had some really interesting figures this time, ranging from very low to high.
Yeah, let's put this, in fact I'll hold it up without my little notice board so you can see it. There we go. Is that visible, Julie?
Yeah, that should be right.
There we are, yeah. Right, let's just have a look. So Discovery Rosette,
Oh,
8.5.
Just put it again so we can do a snapshot.
Oh, okay, yeah, there we go.
I think he's done it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so Discovery Rosette scoring quite high, 8 and 8.5. Laxton's Fortune, not quite at its best, 7.5. Doubleman's quite good at 7. We've got Prince Charles at 9. And Eccentric, for its sort of novelty value and excellent flavour and pleasant eating characteristics, has scored a full 10. And quite a few red-fleshed there. If we top them all up, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them out of the 12 are actually red-fleshed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've commented on this before, the red, the not as tasty.
Not quite. They've got a slightly different band of flavours.
Yeah.
And sometimes they hit the mark really well, but sometimes they don't.
When you look at the figures, they're not done too bad, have they?
No, they haven't. The Rosette is particularly good,
Yeah.
8.5. Doubleman 7. Yeah, they're the two highlights,
Yeah.
really.
That's good.
Okay, well, I hope you found that interesting. We hope to be back with you before too long with another tasting.
And if you like your arts and crafts, there'll be lots of those videos going up throughout the winter.
Yeah, that's good. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for watching, folks.
Thanks for watching.
Bye for now.